Here we are. We're back. We're with another episode. It's the Coffee Break Podcast. I am your host, Slim. These are my brothers.
Jama.
And our producer, the one and the only, the greatest, aka.
Appreciate you. Mukhtar.
We're not going with Enrique anymore.
Nah, that was for the Ocho Cinco
Just dropping it. Or just, okay.
Yeah.
Ocho, I hope you know, man. We got love for you too, bro. This ain't just the hate
Ocho's
Ocho
the
podcast.
greatest.
I felt like I was coming off too strong on him, you know? Got love for you too, brother. Ocho.
You do know that he came out and just apologized.
Did he?
Yeah.
No way.
He had a conversation with his.
So I reversed all that shit then, nigga. I was right. It was good. Come on, man.
No, but the episode of The Pivot came out recently, and he
You're
was
still
on
doing that?
What, The Pivot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on it?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he's on it. Like, it's not every day.
Oh, okay.
But he has been on
Pivot,
for a
what's
year.
called Brandon Marshall, right?
Is he still on that? I haven't
No,
watched.
been watching
that's
a
the
minute.
athlete. That's the
I
athlete.
am the athlete.
Not to get too off track,
Yeah.
but Brandon Marshall is on like a media, like he's going to different places, and
I've seen him on.
he's
it is
only
the
talking
Cameron
about
thing.
Fred and Channing, right?
Mhm.
And anytime that he gets the opportunity, he always just talks ill of them.
Oh, okay.
They do
he
the
was
same
like-
thing though. I seen their clips.
No, like they never. I watch them all the time. They never flat out make fun of him, ever. They don't disrespect him. What they say is, when it comes to business,
Mm-hmm.
we just didn't align.
No,
What we should have done better is
Yeah.
we should have done the papers better.
Mm-hmm.
It was during a time where COVID happened, where we just wanted to start something. We didn't like do the groundwork of writing everything down that everybody should like. This is what you own. This is what you own, right?
Seen clips of Channing and Fred recently. They're
Yeah,
talking-
because they're responding to Brandon what he said.
Oh.
on
How
his media
long?
tour.
How long ago did they split?
2 years or something like
Yeah.
that.
This is
around
a late.
2
This
years.
is a late press run.
No, he's
This is a
I don't know what
repeated
he's doing
thing.
exactly.
it's like the Joe Budden and Mal and Rory thing. They keep on discussing it
Yeah.
anytime they're on that someone else's show.
But I just find it so interesting because he just finds every opportunity to talk ill of his past mates, and it's like, just like grow up.
It just looks bad on him, you know. Like it's like if you're saying that they're speaking highly of him, and they're just kind of just brushing over the issue and just kind of acknowledging that there
Yeah.
was some
up
problem.
until this past episode where they just flat out just started talking.
They ripped him.
They were like, "Yo, you're unprofessional."
Damn.
I think they called him the B word.
Whoa.
I think they said you need work. You need work to do,
That's
and it's
crazy.
not just.
You know what's crazy? These are giant men, so it's like, yeah, I don't know what's gonna if they ever caught each other in the.
Brandon is scary though. That
They're
man's
scary
huge,
big, yo. They're
you know?
huge. Like their arms are the size of like some people's like 2 thighs.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, that's not a fight I'm willing to fight. You know,
No, definitely.
I'll just take the L.
Until recently, I didn't see until few months ago. I didn't see the clips of I Am Athlete when they're all four of them in there.
Yeah,
They had a good thing going. Channing and Ocho and Brandon Marshall. The arguments were entertaining.
yeah, they were.
I'm liking the Ocho Cinco Shannon Sharp YouTube
I'm
show
enjoying
now.
it.
Man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very,
Mhm.
very
Because
enjoyed.
Ocho is very likable.
Mhm.
Like,
Super
he's such a
likable,
likable
yeah.
guy.
He's very charismatic.
And then Shannon Sharp is just like that. He's like a. I don't like to say ghetto version, but like a
I would say more the southern.
southern version of
Mhm.
Stephen A. Smith. You know,
No,
No,
like
no,
southern, like,
no.
he's-
Stephen A. Smith is more like a. He's more like a. Out there, he's more like a theater, like a show.
Yeah.
You know, he presents himself as like I am the show,
yeah,
and I feel like Shannon's just naturally, authentically so southern that a lot of his mannerisms and stuff he's just been doing his entire life.
Yeah.
He's just very disciplined in the fact that he knows what he's talking about, and it's just his whole thing is just authenticity. You know, like to me, it's just all original. Stephen A. is curated and crafted that way. I don't feel like he talks like that
he
at
is
home.
the show though. He always mentions like, I am first take.
Yeah, he has a big
I-
ego, man.
It's you know
it's
what
like James Harden. He said,
James Harden.
I am the system."
You know,
Yeah.
do you think James Harden is going to be more recognized in the clubs after his career
What do you
than
mean?
the court?
That's nah.
Because he did a lot for the Houston strip club community, bro. Like he paved the way for them, bro. He
I
put
did
them
hear
through
that.
colleges. He put their kids, he gave their kids meals. Like he did so much for those strippers, bro. Like
Nah, you're right. But my thing is like, at the end of the day, he's still, in my opinion, top 3 best shooting guards of all time.
top 3.
Yeah.
After Kobe and Michael.
Yeah. No.
I would say top 4. I put Wade in front of him.
Okay. Sure. I'm not gonna argue that. I'm not gonna argue that.
I'll put
I'm
Harden
not
over
gonna argue
AI.
that. But a lot of people put him third.
I'll put Harden over AI.
A lot
I
of
put AI.
a lot
AI
of
lifted a team, got an MVP, and went to the finals in the same year.
Yeah, but I mean, Harden's the only superstar to take
What do
the
you make your
Warriors.
faces for?
to 7.
I just think Harden accomplished more, in my
I mean,
opinion.
no.
Scoring-wise,
I mean,
but that's it.
accolades wise,
Then
yeah.
Allen Iverson.
Accolades wise, yeah. But like when it comes to dragging your team,
Mhm.
Allen Iverson did probably more.
There was a time period where James Harden was unstoppable. He would be an NBA champion if like the Golden State Warriors didn't exist.
And so would Allen Iverson if Kobe Bryant and Shaq weren't
But
teammates.
I was going to bring up another point. And 2, if they didn't have like a record-breaking bad 3-point shot. Like, what are the chances that your team goes 0 for 33 or something like that?
It was 0 for 27. And
Yeah,
was,
you know, like
no,
what are
they
the
missed
chances
27
that happens?
straight.
They would have won that game.
They missed
if
27
that
straight.
historical bad shooting night never happened.
That's not. They would have. A lot of things would have happened. If
No, I'm not saying. But I'm just.
They
saying,
were
like,
on the court. They played. They
there has
lost.
There has been so many times where if James Harden if things played just a little differently, he could have been an NBA champion. I don't think Allen Iverson ever had a chance to be Kobe and Shaq.
Like,
I don't think he ever did.
If Bosh doesn't get the rebound, you know, like if Draymond doesn't get suspended, there's so much like variables to champions that are already cemented in history that we can't look at it that way.
No, but I still think the Miami Heat would have won a championship.
I don't think so. Not that year. They were
in general,
wheeling out the trophy.
Even if worst comes to worst, they lost that series against the Spurs.
Mhm.
I still think next year, the year after that, there was always an opportunity. I don't think Allen Iverson.
Well, they already had a championship going into that. They were looking to get their second in a row.
Yeah.
Right, and they were literally like a rebound away from losing it all. And Bosh saved their whole legacy. Bosh and Ray Allen saved the entire Heatles run.
Nah.
And Chris
opinion.
Bosh,
by all means, yeah.
fouled Danny Green that play ahead, and then they didn't call that foul, and that's when that rebound and pass out happened.
Yeah.
If Klay Thompson doesn't get pushed on that fast break by Danny Green, he doesn't go down, tear his ACL. They probably have 5 championships right
I
now.
still think we would have won.
Klay Thompson had 30 that game.
No.
He went down in the second half.
I think KD
30
was
in the
the
second
factor.
half.
I think KD was that it factor. That if KD played, we just lost. You know, like there's no chance. But I don't think. I think we were so well built as a team.
They were too, though. Let's be real.
I just think they had to run that game, and chances are they probably would have won that game. But I honestly think the Raptors would still have won if Klay was healthy. Debatable, but I still think.
I think that Steph Curry was the best player on the court throughout that series, aside from KD. Right,
Definitely.
better than Kawhi too. He was better than Kawhi. He dropped 47 in a game 2, by himself
Sure.
in a loss. But like he was easily the best player on the court. And then to match that with the Draymond Green and Klay Thompson Warriors offensive identity, they probably could have won that series, man.
I don't know.
I'm a Toronto fan. I love the city. I was at the parade, bro. There's photos.
Yeah, worst
I
day
was
of
there.
my life.
Documented.
Photos.
It's documented.
Worst day of my life, huh?
You didn't
What?
go?
I did go, but it was just like, as somebody who hates crowds, I was stuck in it for like 2 hours.
That's exactly.
Yo,
what I'm
man.
going.
I feel so bad that we didn't link up that day. Because that was me.
Even if we tried, it
Mhm.
wouldn't have happened.
No, we
Like-
should have went there together. Is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah.
Like that would have been
Facts,
like
that would've
way
been great.
smarter. Because like where I was, there was like, it was very crowded. I'm not gonna lie. It was just it was like claustrophobic almost, right?
Yeah.
But the energy, bro. Like I'd never seen
so bad.
every single human being happy in my radius ever like that in my life. And it was just so beautiful, man.
But they said what? 5 million people showed up.
I think it was 2
two,
million, yeah.
2 million people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too. Basically, all of Toronto came
2 million people and one gun.
Wallahi, literally.
in one gun.
The beauty of Toronto, man. Like there's no
Somebody
Event-
died. Somebody died, no?
no.
No, someone got shot.
It wasn't even like a real it was a false report. There wasn't even a real gun.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought there was a video of it.
I didn't see any video, but apparently there wasn't a real gun and shit. It was just
So a kid playing around.
I think it was either a BB gun or something that wasn't like life threatening.
Yeah.
But to
But in
ruin a
that
parade,
crowd, yeah.
our only championship,
Well, it wasn't ruined. There was
it kind of was ruined, man. I was panicking. My brother was in that crowd. I
A
was
lot
like,
of people got stampeded over it. That
Yeah,
would
kids.
definitely,
Damn.
ruined.
I was seeing like newborn infants and shit on people's heads. I'm like, what? This is insane. I was just,
there was a kid lost where I was. Like,
damn.
they were crying. And I looked down, kept walking.
You're like, yeah, Toronto.
Like, I'm not gonna, finding, that's a needle in a haystack.
Sometimes I was so confused because there were people on top of like the street lights and shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
how the fuck did you climb there? You Tarzan ass
Athletic.
niggas?
These are the athletic people we're talking about, fam.
Bro, I was like, god damn. I'm like, I wish I had knees. Like, my nigga, what the fuck? You're making it look too easy out here.
Nah, that should look
Man.
a mess though. I didn't go that day. I came back from vacation. I went back to work, and I was told by so many people, "Oh, they're letting people off go to the parade." Allah, I went outside. My work was near Nathan Phillips Square. I seen them drive by. And I went back inside.
Oh, you seen them? I didn't even see them, bro.
I saw them. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
didn't
I got
see
a nice little view of Marcus Gasol turning up,
I was drunk,
going crazy, bro. It was
drunk out of
man.
his mind.
That
You know
shit
what
fun
else I
as
took
hell.
in too at that parade? That was like the first instance that I realized that I'm kind of getting older than the young crowd.
Bro, we were 24, 23.
Yeah, but there was so much like 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds there that I was like, damn, I'm a grown ass nigga to these kids.
Yeah, we had a
I'm
job.
like-
That's why.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta go to work after this.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are just on summer vacation. This is insane. I was like, wow. But like, and slowly as time went on, that was 2018 or 19, right?
2019.
As time went on, bro, that feeling has started to grow and grow and grow.
You
and grow.
think you feel older?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel older and older as years go on.
Like how?
Less connected with the younger crowd or the younger generation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like they're into like the whole like Twitch, for example. You know, like that whole culture of the streaming culture and stuff like that. Like they're into that style of entertainment as
Yeah.
opposed to like I grew up on cable TV and I grew up on, you know, Zoe 101 and, you know, iCarly and them shits, you know?
Mhm.
But now it's like we're talking about like reality shows and we're talking about like the Kai Cenat Jail-stream, you know? That's what I was kind of alluding to. I'm like stuff like that didn't happen when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, so now they have a completely different plethora of things to watch, and it's like 10 hours worth of content too.
He did that for 7 days.
7
It was a
days,
7 day
all
stream.
live, all the whole thing. I thought it was just
I
clips.
believe it was a 7-day stream.
What's the Kai Cenat jail thing? Explain to the audience.
Okay, so Kai Cenat, a famous streamer,
He's
which
a famous YouTuber.
he is a kind of famous YouTuber too. He's the biggest person on Twitch right now, and he's kind of curated this whole theme or this whole like content style of doing brash and very extravagant events on live stream, you know? So I think the one that I came across when I first started seeing him go do these things was when he did a 24-hour live stream to get like a certain amount of subs.
In the month of February, he did a month stream.
Month stream.
Yeah.
It was a whole
It
month?
was a whole month streaming.
Entire month.
Entire month.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. So he's been doing these types of things where he pretty much gets together a bunch of friends and they put some amount of money. I think it's probably managed by some kind of a network or something like that. But they lease these places and they hire these people to do these like very entertaining things. Like they had a chef come and do like a hibachi style grill in his room one time, you know. They hire like a bunch of these like method actors and stuff to do things for them. So he's known for this. Recently, he's gotten to a point where he created what's known as the Kai Cenat Jail-stream.
Yeah.
So, and you're now telling me that he was in there for 7 days. Basically, it's a mock penitentiary center where they hired a bunch of actors to play guards, and they made it. Basically, they dressed up this facility to look like it's a jail, right? And Kai
Oh, was it
Cenat.
an actual like empty abandoned jail?
I don't think so, to be honest. I think it was kind of made as like a Mr. Beast style, like we created a venue type of thing.
Oh, I didn't actually watch it. I just seen the little mini clips.
I saw a bunch of the clips too. I didn't see the videos and stuff like that. So he's in there for 7 days. He brings a whole bunch of his friends from like the AMP house, I'm assuming, and some other content creators, as well as some celebrities. Like Drewski was in there with him.
NLE Chopper.
NLE Chopper was in there.
Saved it. I don't care. It don't matter. It don't matter to me.
Chopper, damn. Who else? Kershawn Rock was in there.
She was there.
Her pregnant, wasn't there?
She was pregnant?
I thought the last thing I knew, she was pregnant.
She gave birth a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
She gave birth. Hey, okay, damn. Where the hell? Where's the baby?
She left the baby.
She left the baby? Those two, man. Blue face.
They broke up though.
Oh, they broke up?
Yeah.
They broke up like 20 times in the last 2 years.
But I believe consistently have been away from each other for a while.
Just the fact that the whole rhetoric on the internet when they had pregnancy, the positive pregnancy thing, everybody's like, no.
The fact that he was gaslighting her and saying, yo, that's not even your baby. That's not even my baby. God.
I don't know. I think they both have mental problems.
100%. They're both just a nuisance. But sorry, continue what you were saying.
But not to get too sidetracked. So they started this live stream where they pretty much go into jail, and it's supposed to be for 7 days, and they make. Is it like they stream the entirety of the 7 days? So like cameras are on at all times? Is that how it
so they
goes?
stream the entire 7 days, and like they have guests lined up for every day to make it fresh. Like there was a day where RDC World came in.
RDC World. Shout out to Waco, Texas, man. Those guys are the real
From
deal.
Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
There's a day Juice Tea came. There's
Yeah.
a day the girl came. So
I believe Offset was supposed to show up, but
yeah, but
I guess he has some beef with Kai Cenat now.
I don't know. Some
Really?
He didn't because
like his album.
yeah, he didn't like his album he didn't present his album reaction the way he would have wanted it to, because he stayed at his crib for a weekend. So Offset comes and spends the weekend with Kai Cenat, assuming that he's gonna give him a really good album review on camera so that he can get some album sales boosted and stuff like that. But Kai Cenat eventually hears the album, and he was being honest with him. He's like, it's all right, but it's not like, it ain't the album that I thought it was gonna be. And then Offset, I guess,
He said that on stream.
yeah. So I guess Offset felt some type of way and then just didn't show up for the jail stream. So there's that kind of tension going on with them.
The
I guess
album wasn't that it though.
I personally thought it was one of his better albums.
I like the first 2 songs.
I like that track with Don Toliver. Crazy.
I just don't like Don Toliver.
Crazy.
What?
Yeah, I'm not.
You don't like Don Toliver?
I like Don. Like I was having a conversation recently. There's certain people I like them as entertainers.
Yeah.
And as like I like what they represent. Like there's people that can do a lot of different things and take risks with their work and things like that. I respect that part. The work is just not. I'm not a fan of.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's
I'm a fan of people. I'm not a fan of their work.
I like that.
Okay.
But to not get too sidetracked. But so, anyways, they're having this jail live stream, right? And they're trying to do a bunch of like jail-ish type of shit. I saw a video of Drewski sneaking in McDonald's through his boxers and shit like that. I'm like, they eat that shit too. I'm like, that is disgusting, bro.
He actually pulled that out of his pants.
Well, his fans like, yo, these still fresh, eh?
too, eh? It was like, or I don't know what it was.
He's like, yo, these still fresh, you know.
Oh, he did
Crazy.
that. He did that shit. Freaking was it The Longest Yard? Remember?
I didn't watch that movie. No, I didn't watch it.
Terry Crews. That was his whole character. He would pull sandwiches at it anywhere.
Nah, man. But anyway, so they did that. That whole jail stream was going on, and it got me thinking, man. There wasn't this type of content or this type of like constant entertainment, and constant like outlandish, like extravagant style content wasn't around when we were kids. Like I was saying, we had the Zoe 101, the SD classifieds, you know, like we were stuck to our basic cable and our programming, you know, as children were back then, right? So I'm thinking to myself a little bit too, I'm like, is this a little damaging for our kids? Are they growing up too fast, do you think, maybe? Like, is this something that's helping the new generation kind of develop quicker, or is it slowing them down, do you think?
Interesting. So you're basically saying, are the streamers a good influence on today's youth, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question.
That's a
So
great question.
I think the track record speaks for itself.
Okay.
For example, let's zone in on Kai. I think Kai has been an excellent like influence to this generation. Like he's always been like one of those people who have a great head on their shoulders, and he always, I don't know if you know, but every stream he starts with like saying prayers to everybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
I didn't know that.
hope everything happens well for you guys. Like Aiden Ross and him talked about it once, where it was like,
Aiden Ross.
you guys don't even know that Kai always prays for you before stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's great for kids these days to know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, everything that he's done has always been entertaining, and it's always been like not that reckless, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's for example this thing right here, this prison stream. I don't exactly agree with it, to be honest.
Why is that? Let's talk about it.
Because I don't like the idea of like painting a picture around prison that is like, it's not that bad, you know. Like I understand it was like an idea, and he executed it perfectly, right? So it was entertaining. It got him thousands of views, and I thought it was like great overall. But I think the lasting effects could be detrimental to a lot of youth today. Like, you know,
I would disagree with that.
okay.
And the reason why I disagree with that is because my kind of takeaway from the new style of content, you know, for lack of a better term, is that kids are growing up a little faster than when we were their ages, you know, and to me that's kind of beneficial, right? And what I mean by that is, let's stay focused on the Kai Cenat Jail-stream topic, right? When I was, because I like to give children or like teens, for example, a lot of the benefit of the doubt. I think to myself, kids or teens are not as stupid as we like them to, or we think they are.
Yeah.
You know, I like to give them the benefit of the doubt in terms of intelligence, you know,
Mhm.
especially with the whole internet generation that we grew up in. We have access to information. If you want to know something, you can know something, no matter what your age is. You just have to know what to search for,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. And in that, I think that kids have developed, well, teenagers, I should say specifically teenagers, have developed a more mature and more developed, like, version of themselves earlier than when we did, you know, because we were, like we said, we were watching Ned's Declassified, Zoe 101, and a lot of stuff that's kind of programming us to be a certain age,
Yeah.
as opposed to going online now and just throwing on a Kai Cenat stream where you could see a whole lot of mature stuff, and you could still be entertained from like some extravagant shit, you know? So I think that the kids are doing a good job of balancing out what's content and what's not content. Obviously, you have the outliers, you know, and I personally consider that natural selection.
Yeah.
Like, some idiots are gonna go and think they're Kai Cenat, try to do some wild dumb shit and get in trouble for it.
Mm.
That's just a given. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I feel like the kids that are just enjoying the content and are watching these streams and are just getting exactly what Kai Cenat wants them to get out of it
Yeah.
are benefiting way more than when we were kids, because I would much rather have loved to be a child in this era with all the access and with all the things that there are to view and consume, and develop my personality based off of that. Basically become an adult earlier,
Mhm.
you know? Obviously, you know, there's some maturing that you have to do even now, you know, like, but for the most part, I feel like it's developing them a little bit quicker, and the ones that get it will thrive.
Okay.
The ones that don't, sorry.
But you know what? To push back,
Mhm.
I think Kai Cenat is one of the good influences. You know,
Mhm.
like I think AMP and like a lot of like RDC World and a lot of other big streamers. I think those are the type of influences I would want my kid watching. You
Mhm.
know, like if I would say this is just one aspect of Kai that he did that I don't really agree with, but for the most part, everything he's done, in my opinion, has been great.
Yeah.
You know, but it really depends on where you fall on the internet.
Mhm.
Like a lot of these red pill society people. So I really think it depends on where you fall on the internet. Like a lot of these red pill societies like Sneeko and like Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit, like in my opinion, what they do is there's like 10 or 15% of what they say which actually resonates with a lot of male viewers. And 85% I think they're pushing an agenda.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
Like, for example, you have to remember that even though all of this that they're watching is content, and they're getting entertained, right? But what they're also doing is they're integrating that value system in their life, you know?
I would disagree, man. That's
Oh,
where I feel like we have to give these teenagers the more benefit of the doubt, because I feel like that's a split two types of people, right?
Okay.
There's the people who understand, who have some kind of general knowledge, and majority of the time, those people who are the people who were raised right, quote unquote, as opposed to the people like when we were kids, for example,
Yeah.
right? Hip hop music or rap music was very street affiliated, dangerous, you know, I'm gonna be the top shotter, I'm gonna be the plug and type shit. And some kids took that shit too literally. They
Okay.
went on the streets and they started trying to be the Jay-Z,
Yeah.
the El Chapo, all this. They really took that shit to life. And that's natural selection to me. Those kids are gonna do what they do because that's just who they are. But the others who just, you know, enjoyed it and just consumed it as media they're just normal people in society now. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
cool.
Like it's
you know
you know what I
why
mean?
you know why I disagree with that, bro? It's because yes, I'm not gonna deny that. Of course, even in our generation, there are people who watched a lot of this hip hop and rap stuff and kind of integrated aspects of that into their life, which is probably they shouldn't have, right? I agree, but at the end of the day, you have to remember that's 3 minutes of like music, and let's say they have an album that's an hour of music. This content that people are viewing is on a daily basis with these people who are pushing an agenda. It's
Mhm.
different. I'm not saying it's brainwashing, but if you're constantly looking at your screen and listening and understanding and kind of formulating your thoughts, it's a little different than music that plays, because music is like a time and a place, right?
I agree.
Like if I'm constantly from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. watching somebody who's just talking about one aspect of why men deserve this and women don't deserve that, I'm gonna start believing it at one point, you know, especially if you're younger and easily influenced, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I understand what you mean about being impressionable, especially with these guys that have like the red pill community and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I don't think that those guys are successful in what they're preaching, and it's pretty obvious. You know, which
I-
one of any of the red pill community guys have a long-term marriage, have a long-term relationship, are successfully with somebody?
A
They're
lot
all
of
just
a lot of that
fucking around.
stuff they don't like promote.
Well,
Like,
they always try to promote promiscuity is not right. The girl has to be a virgin. She has to be young.
Yeah.
She has to be very submissive. Like none of those guys have that in a woman at all.
no,
No,
but
but
you know?
they don't. Go ahead.
One aspect of it is that people listen more to the message instead of the messenger.
That's
So
true.
we don't know. Like right now, I couldn't tell you one thing about Andrew Tate other than that whatever he was getting arrested for.
Mhm.
Before that, we had no idea who this guy was. Majority, I'm not gonna say everybody, majority of the audience seen this guy talking a certain way, and some of it related to some people, and some of it guys that weren't getting play from women, weren't getting nothing for women, may have said, "Yo, this may be a route that I can take that may me get some success in that aspect of life."
Very, very, very fair point. But what I have to say to rebuttal that is that these rhetorics and these ideologies that these guys are preaching
Yeah.
are not successful at all. And I think with time, most people who go and take these routes will definitely find out in life that this isn't successful. This is not the way to pursue somebody. And if you do, you're going to get yourself locked up in a situation where you don't want to be in, right?
But
And that's where I go back to the whole, if you understand, you do. If you don't, you don't. Like you're going to come to a point in life, no matter what it is, where you try to have a lifestyle or you try to follow a certain rhetoric, whether you're young, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're old, and it doesn't work out. That's just life, to be honest with you, right? And whether you get your information from a credible source or a non-credible source, that is on the person. That is on the individual. Not up to the person who's giving you the information to give you your opinion. You know what I mean? Whether you're a child or not. I feel like, especially if it's somebody who's like-minded, like, or somebody who's like stable-minded, for lack of a better term, right? If they fall under the red pill umbrella, they will bring themselves out of it eventually. It is not a stable path to follow.
Mhm.
These are the basically what I'm trying to say is that the media is false. It's not 100%. Like they're trying to show you the highlights of what you like, what's beautiful and what's great in life, but they don't show you that the bad side to everything. There's a bad side to a lot of these things, and a lot of the people that follow these rhetorics and these ideologies are gonna have to find out eventually. So whether they're being presented this information a lot or not is it's not in their control. It's not nothing they can do about it. So it's up to the viewer at the end of the day. Are you going to be this type of person? Are you not going to be this type of person? If you are you going to do it to the point where you know, like you follow it from A to B? If you are, then you're probably not going to find success. So that's kind of how I see it. It's just natural selection to me.
No, but I agree. Like I'm not denying anything you just said,
Mhm.
but I think you're looking at that with an outlook of somebody who's been through a lot of life experiences. I think
Fair.
that is not a fair assumption to make for somebody under the age of 15.
That's where I also disagree too, because I think 15-year-olds should not be held to an intellectual standard that they
What?
are. They're
No.
smarter than we give them
I'm
credit
not
for.
saying that they're not smart, brother. What I'm saying is, typically, I'll give you my example, a personal example. So growing up, like I always knew who I was. I
Mhm.
knew my morals. I knew like my identity, and I kind of always kept to that. Like I like to think that I've always been the same person. Just I've gravitated towards a little bit more growth growing
Mhm.
up, but like there were a few people that I looked up to because I wanted that type of success and I wanted that type of mentality. For example, Kobe. Like I think that's a lot of people's like role model
Yeah,
when we were
definitely.
younger, because that
Definitely.
Kobe mentality, if you were to integrate that into your life, regardless of if you pursued basketball, if you pursued education, if you pursued anything, if you had that type of mentality, you're going somewhere because it allows you an avenue to always succeed. Like you're always going to do well, right?
Mhm.
And that is a mentality that I like to think I incorporated. Did I incorporate it to the best of my ability? Probably not. But there are some aspects of Kobe that I always wanted to keep into my own mentality, right?
Mhm.
To that point, like these younger people, I'm sure that they have a good head on their shoulders. I'm not saying they don't. I'm not degrading them, and I'm not taking anything away from their intelligence, you know?
Okay.
But what I am saying is When you're a younger person, you typically look to see somebody who is successful and somebody who you would want to be in the future, right?
Mhm.
You know, like you may not have the same value system as them, but you look at them as this is where I want to be in 10, 15, 20 years, right? You know how the way that I had Kobe, I'm sure there are people in this generation that look for somebody else. You know what I mean? So depending on where they fall in the ladder, you know, they may fall on the Kai Cenat side, which is I think like a good influence. There's a lot of good values that he has. He's just an overall good person. You know, that's somebody I would want my child and his friends watching, you know?
Mhm.
But it depends on what side you fall on. Because if you fall on the Andrew Tate side and the Sneeko side, you know, and the
Fresh
like
and fit.
yeah, like it really like I understand that they're not gonna turn out that way, but there's gonna be elements of what they're talking about that they're gonna integrate into their own life, you know?
Mhm.
Which is not bad. A lot of stuff that they say is not bad, you know, like work out for yourself. Focus on your future, like do stuff. But there's also elements of disrespecting a lot of women, you know, and I don't want my son to like be like that.
I
You know what I
agree.
mean?
I agree with what you're saying. I think that the generation we're in now is more exposed to more opinions than ever,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
There's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much more different opinions out there. There's so much different, there's way more celebrities in general just
Uh-huh.
than when we were younger. And there's just a lot more access to a lot more information coming out of different mouths. This is not like the original source material. This is just somebody's opinion based off of, ideologies, just life aspects and things like that. So yes, in that sense, that there may be some kids that get misconstrued, they get they get misaligned in life and where they should be. I understand that. But my point of the fact is that since there's so much more access to knowledge, there's a plethora more of paths that people can take at a younger age. And another point too is that a lot of the role models that we're seeing come to light now are a lot younger than role models when we were like
Yeah,
Kobe was
good point.
always
Good point.
significantly older than us.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of these athletes and like entertainers and people we looked up to when we were younger were significantly older than the younger audience. So like now kids are looking up to people who are similarly in age to them. And they're trying to find certain aspects of life based off these people's success that they can kind of attribute to themselves and
Yeah.
take with them to some kind of a degree of success for them own.
Do
For
you know
their
it's
own.
also, I didn't mean to cut you off. Do you know it's also a respectable point though?
Mhm.
Because I've been lucky enough to be around some podcasts behind the scenes, stuff like that. I've seen a few people speak in certain ways that are certain creators that are starting to come up, starting to figure. A lot of people are supremely intelligent,
Mhm.
supremely intelligent. I don't know if it's just because of how they came up and what they read and things like that. But the good thing about the Kai Cenats and things like that is that they make kids want to go stream, go figure other type of avenues for business out, like you were saying.
Mhm.
But that makes them like right now. We started this a year ago.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot of different things, and we've tried to figure out a lot of different things when it comes to video, audio, of what we like. It's like a relationship.
Mhm.
You don't know what you like until you try it out yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
you don't know what type of aspect and what type of relationship you'll accept, what type of treatment you'll accept if you don't try it out yourself.
Mhm.
People could tell you whatever they want, but same thing with streaming right now. If you don't get the best visual, best conversation, and try to put on the best production, people won't watch your shit. So you have to figure out how to best please and how to best present things to your audience
Mhm.
that they'll like. But in that point, you'll grow and you'll figure something out that will bring a sense to you and bring a sense to your character.
I
It's
agree.
gonna be amendable though.
That's a huge point. That's a huge point. And I saw these two Somali content creators. I think it's one of his name is Top Molly recently. He was talking about, the different avenues of like paths that people can take. It's not just rapping. It's not just, it's not just your basic stuff that when we were younger that you can do. Now there's content creation. I mean, you can do some behind the scenes stuff. There's just so much more avenues that you could take. And the youth they have so much more access than they once did. Like when I was a kid, like not necessarily when I was a kid, but like when we were like younger, like I feel like the age range that we were in had only certain things that we could do in our youth that we can consider fun or we consider something that we can do to grow with and creatively even. And now there's just so much more avenues that you can go into at a younger age to kind of pursue something in life, and it's like that, the opportunity to have more options in front of you at a younger age, I feel like is what this generation has been blessed with, Of course, there's going to be some issues with that too. Like there are gives and there are takeaways that you can get from that. And in this sense, the content creation world and the streaming world and Kai Cenat, I personally think is so beneficial to the kids these days, because now that they have something that they can try for their own, like when they see something done on Kai Cenat stream, of course, they're going to be thinking to themselves, is this something that I can do? Is this something that's possible? But like the little things that they can take away, like busting out a camera with their friends when they're just hanging out and stuff like that, just posting that to YouTube, like those little things are things that are accessible to the youth nowadays that weren't at one point, So it's up to them what they take away from it, right? Everybody's still got their own head on their shoulder, but I like to think about this generation as blessed in the fact that they have way more options in front of them in terms of how they can, plan their trajectory of their life. So
10%.
I'm looking at it like, yes, it's different from when we were kids, but to some degree, I would think it's better. I wish I was a kid at this stage, at this generation, just for that sake.
No, man. First of all, just want to say that was incredibly sad. I didn't want to interrupt you. I thought that was
that's my point.
That was really well said, and I agree with everything you said. I'm not saying the avenues for the kids these days are limited. I think it's incredible. And something that I really want to bring up, something you said earlier, where when we were younger, our role models and inspirations were significantly older than us.
Yeah,
like they were way older than us, But kids these days, their inspiration and role models are around the same age, you know?
Yeah.
So our thought process always used to be, oh, when I get older, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be successful. Like, I'm going to grow into this type of person. Kids these days are saying, yo, what can I do right now that Kai Cenat is doing that I can incorporate into my life, you know? It's way different because they're starting to invest in themselves really early. So by the time they're our age, like late 20s, it's like they're already set for life, you know? Because for us, we used to be like, yo, married 25, job 22, kids 30, blah, 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 retired by 45.
It's such a structural path.
Yeah, we had such a structured path where everything needed to be done in chronological order.
And then there was that little gap in between where everybody thought they could be a rapper.
But to each their own.
Yeah.
But like kids these days are starting off super early. Would be like, hey, if Kai did it, I can do it. If Agent did it, I can do it. If and I really love the way things are opening up. Like there's so much opportunity, especially for a lot of Black youth that always thought, if I don't go to school, what am I going to do? Now they can take the role of like streaming, video gaming. Like I used to get laughed at when I told people when I was young that, yo, I'm going to start a YouTube channel for video gaming, you know? But now there's so many people actually making a solid revenue off that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's incredible. And I just kind of want to close this off by saying, I think we have great influences in our game right now. Like all these US people, these UK people, I think Chunks and the Beta Squad, I think those are such great influences for a lot of Somali youth, you know? I think what he brings to the Somali community is absolutely incredible, you know? And for people to have somebody around their age to be like, if they can do it, I can do it. It really puts light in a lot of these youth's mind that anything's possible, you know, just like KG said.
Anything's possible.
Exactly. You know,
No, but one last thing I want to add as well. I really like the fact that a lot of people go branding wise. So like the AMP house, like the RDC world, like what's Chunks things called?
Beta Squad.
Beta Squad.
Yeah.
They go, instead of just going, oh, I'm gonna go do Kai Cenat, I'm gonna go do it by myself. They bring collective together. That means, like, I think there's a big conversation about the Ringer when Spotify was signing them, and the fact that they got so much money because they didn't come with just Bill Simmons by himself. They came with a whole collective of shows and different type of perspectives and things like that that made them more lucrative to companies and more business sense, more sense of why we're giving them so much more money. These guys are all coming together thinking, how can we brand ourselves? How can we put ourselves in the best perspective for business that we can get the most money, that we can get the most opportunities? and that's impressive, that part as well.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is another aspect where young people can look at and try some shit. Oh, there's a lot of people in Toronto that are trying some shit, and different places that are trying some shit that because they've seen what's going on in New York and all these other places. So
yeah, it's such a very prosperous time to be a young person because, like you were saying, the structural path that we grew up on, go to school, graduate, get your diploma, get your degree, and then work for whatever amount of years, that's just kind of in the behind now. You can do so much more. Even just strictly off the structural path that we were taught on. You can get certifications now. You can go to like small little boot camps and stuff like that. Like you could do so much more to educate yourself and to find knowledge in getting into things than as opposed to the past. That, man, it's such, like I said, it's such a prosperous time to be a young person in this society right now. So
100%.
Hats off to them. Shout out to Kai Cenat. You're doing some phenomenal things, brother. Hopefully we can get you in this chair or that chair one day, bro, and we could talk about really what goes on behind the scenes, because that's something I would really love to know, like the planning and like, you know, the finances and like a lot of the personal time off and stuff like that. Like I would love to know the real psychology behind what it takes to be a streamer.
He works too hard to be that young, bro. Like I don't know how he has that type of mindset as a young person.
I would love to ask him too, how much of this is considered work to you?
Yeah,
you know,
great
like,
question.
That there's so much more that I would love to know in like the back of the mind of somebody who's doing this or pursuing it in the highest degree. And man, like it's such an interesting time to be in. You know, even what we're doing right now, like, you know, like in, let's say like 2005, if we wanted to have a show like this, we would need a network, a studio, we would need a manager, we would need a production agent. You know, we need so much stuff to get it done. But here we are now. You know, like the beauty of the internet and the society that we're in now is you could just do things. You know, whatever you want, just go ahead and do it. Pick it up and do it. You will learn as long as you are going steady with it, you know? So in that sense, man, shout out to the kids, man. Shout out to all the people that are trying things too, man. Cause like it takes one step to go for it, but it takes another step to stay with it, you know? And that's something we know pretty well, you know, after a year of doing this. So shouts out to the next gen, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, so that was another episode of the Coffee Break Podcast. I am your host with the most, Slim. These are my two brothers,
Jama,
Mukhtar.
We are signing off. We will see you next time. And like I said before, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. We want to know what you have to say. We really do. And I really appreciate some of the feedback we've been getting in some of the comments, because you guys are really opinionated. And we really want to hear you guys talk about what we have to say on this couch, because to be honest with you, it makes for more conversation. Yeah. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So if you haven't already before, subscription button's down there below. Why haven't you pressed it yet? Why haven't you liked that video yet? Come on, guys.
We're all over streaming as well. So tune in on streaming if you're a podcast listener on streaming apps.
Facts.
We are your hosts. See you next time.